Okay, so you're ready for a deep dive into automation today.
Mm.
We're talking about how businesses can really make the most of it, not just using tech for the sake of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got this excerpt on automation operating models, and it really digs into how to create a solid plan
Hmm.
so that you don't just end up with like a bunch of random bots doing their own thing.
Right, right. Because the idea is not just to automate, but to scale it effectively.
Exactly. And that's where an AOM comes in, right? This strategic framework to
Exactly.
make automation really work for you.
You know, it's interesting. I see a lot of companies, they kind of jump into automation without a clear roadmap.
Yeah.
They get some quick wins, maybe, but eventually things get messy. Projects don't align, there's wasted effort, and the return on investment, well, it's just not there.
Yeah, it's all about avoiding those pitfalls.
Exactly. That's where the AOM comes in.
Okay, so how does an AOM actually help?
Well, imagine trying to build a skyscraper without blueprints.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Right. Total chaos. An AOM is like your blueprint for automation success. It's the structure, the guidance to make sure all those bots are working together smoothly and efficiently.
Got it. So no rogue bots running around.
Exactly.
And this excerpt, it breaks down a successful AOM into 3 key layers.
All right.
And the first one is the steering committee.
Yes.
So this is all about leadership.
Absolutely. You need a dedicated team to guide the whole automation effort. We're talking senior leaders, business heads, IT decision makers, a diverse group to champion this and align it with the overall business strategy.
So everyone's on the same page from the start.
Exactly. That's the key.
But wouldn't having all these different people, wouldn't that slow things down, decision making and all that? How do you make sure it's collaborative but still efficient?
That's a good point. It's all about having clear roles and responsibilities within the committee. They're not there to micromanage every single automation project. They set the big picture strategy. They're like the architects, right? They lay out the vision and then empower others to make it happen.
Right, and that brings us to those others.
Yes.
The core functions, the second layer.
Right. This is where we define who does what. You've got 3 main functions. Business, the automation center of excellence, the COE, and IT. The business function, they identify the processes that are ripe for automation, making sure they actually align with those big goals that the steering committee set.
So they're the ones spotting the opportunities.
Right. Always looking for ways to do things better and more efficiently.
Okay, so the business function finds the opportunities, but who actually builds the bots and makes sure they're working?
That's where the automation COE comes in. Think of them as the automation experts. They pick the right technologies, develop and deploy the bots, and critically, they set the standards for everything.
Standards, like what kind of standards are we talking about?
Everything from how the code is written to how errors are handled. So let's say they put in a standardized way of logging errors. That means if a bot runs into a problem, it's documented the same way every time, which makes it way easier to spot patterns, troubleshoot problems, and ultimately prevent them from happening again.
Makes sense. So as your automation grows, you don't want it to become this big tangled mess.
Exactly.
Okay, and then we've got IT. What's their role?
Well, IT provides the infrastructure, the support system to make sure those bots have a stable and secure environment to run in. They handle things like integrating different systems, security protocols, data management, all those essential behind-the-scenes tasks.
Okay, and the third layer, the support components. It sounds like this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of keeping the whole thing running smoothly.
Exactly. You've got process improvement, internal audit, change in communication, and workforce planning. Process improvement is all about making sure processes are actually ready to be automated.
So it's not just about throwing technology at a problem.
No, you have to refine the process itself. Maybe eliminate some steps, standardize inputs, clarify decision points.
Got it. And internal audit, I'm guessing they're important for making sure everything stays compliant and you're not opening yourself up to risks.
Absolutely. Especially as automation starts dealing with more sensitive data. They're the guardians of good governance, making sure everything follows regulations and internal policies.
Okay, and then there's change in communication. This is the people side of things, right?
Exactly, because we can't forget about the people who are impacted by these changes.
Right, you need to get everyone on board.
Exactly. Clear communication, proper training, and managing those changes proactively, that's all key for smooth adoption and getting everyone to buy in.
And finally, workforce planning. Seems especially important as automation changes the way we work.
Absolutely. We need to think about reskilling and upskilling employees,
Right.
preparing them for new roles that work alongside their digital coworkers.
Right.
And that involves allocating resources strategically, making sure you've got the right people in the right roles to really maximize the benefits of automation.
So let's bring it all back to our listener. What's the takeaway here? Why should they care about an AOM?
Because an AOM is the bridge between wanting to automate and actually seeing results,
Yeah.
tangible, sustainable results. It's the difference between, just having pockets of automation here and there and a truly cohesive, scalable strategy that transforms your business.
It's not just about shiny new tech. It's about making sure that tech works for you. So as you're thinking about your own automation journey, even if you're not running a huge company, ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
how can I apply these AOM principles? What steps can I take to make my automation strategic, scalable, and ultimately successful?
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, something for everyone to think about.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into automation.
Mhm.